guys. First part of the show, let's talk about the game itself. Your initial reaction, Sergeant MVP of Ohio State's 41-7 victory over the Boilermakers.
You know, it was a complete team victory. That's I think a lot of people could agree with that. And I think we had a couple goals, to get into this game. Number one was health, stay healthy. Number two was establish the run game. Well, we did a nice job of establishing the run game. However, I feel like we kind of failed a little bit on the health front with Denzel Burke getting dinged up, Chip Trayanum getting dinged up. So it's 50-50 on that. But overall, it's a good team victory. Dallin Hayden looked good, looked real good, really. Brown got in there. He got himself a touchdown, running and throwing. Could have had two, but he did fumble it. I went back and looked at it, and they had the good camera angle. So, we were kind of disputing it while we were at the game. And come to find out, he did fumble it about a yard short, roughly. But he had a good game. A couple of those freshman wide receivers, Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis, they had themselves a nice little game. So, I can't really complain, man. I liked what I saw as a team victory, and that's what I like to see.
Chris, your initial thoughts of yesterday's 41-7 win?
Yeah, I'm with Aaron. I think we had a good team victory. I think McCord was solid. I think that Dallin Hayden showed that, in the absence of the three guys who had been leading that running back room, more specifically the two guys, that we still got plenty of firepower back there when we need it. Harrison was what we expect Harrison to be, which is pretty much awesome anytime he steps on the field. Cade Stover looked great. And hey, guys, our defensive end's got a couple of sacks.
How about that?
That's something we hadn't been seeing a whole lot of, and I'm pretty excited about, So, I think it was a great all-around win.
I feel like the old Denny Green comment comes for Aaron on this one. They are who we said they were, or they are who we thought they were. Aaron warned us that the film did not look good for Purdue. That offensive line is like literally their second string offensive line. Number one, they weren't good to start with, and then they suffered 2 offensive line injuries during that game. So, yeah, our defensive line should have been feasting on that, Harrison Jr., yes, you're right. He gets on the field, looks great. He did have a couple drops, though. But weather was definitely an issue. I mean, it rained. The field was wet, natural turf. Field was wet, balls wet, heavy, you name it. There was a lot of going on there. So was it a perfect game? No, but I'll tell you this much. I enjoyed the heck out of it. We'll get into that. Uh, our Boiler Express buddy Dylan. Was there a game this weekend? Weird. I don't remember. You must have drank your sorrows away.
Well, one team played a game this weekend, Dylan.
Hey, you guys did hold kicking tryouts at the game.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yes. What quarter did you leave, by the way?
Yeah, Dylan, tell us when did you decide to check out? I mean, you had a lovely friend with you. I understand that there might have been some other, more successful avenues that you would want to go down Saturday, other than staying in the rain and watching your team lose. But yeah, that was great. Oh my goodness, look at this! Look who's
Lenny.
up and partying. Partying in Nashville at the Redneck Riviera.
You lose, Eric. You said that he wasn't going to be awake for the show today.
I am shocked. I did not think he would be up, but he is having himself a time down at the Redneck Riviera. Late in the third, Aaron, is when Dylan checked out. Earliest I've ever left a game in my life. Well, I would say, Dylan, you had a good excuse, buddy. You had a good excuse to punch that card out and head on out. Go ahead, Chris.
What do you think happened first, Eric? Did Dylan leave the game earlier, or did USC turn their TVs off faster?
Dylan left early. That thing was still questionable going into the fourth there. But yeah, nice to see USC get their teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
By a 2-loss Notre Dame team who was just more physical. Here's one for you. Check this out. Clemson went into South Bend, Indiana last year and got their butt kicked.
Yep.
USC went into South Bend, Indiana this year and got their butt kicked. Who did not get their butt kicked in South Bend, Indiana?
That'd be us.
Your OHIO Buckeyes. Donald Hoffer, I'm concerned for our O line next week with Penn State. They played a decent game against lesser competition, but decent is not what's going to cut it in the next week. I agree, Donald, but there was,
Fair enough.
yeah. Oh, I see the hard hat behind you. Well played. Good seeing you, dudes. Yes. Right behind me here. Right there it is. That's the Chris. That's the Chris Wilds Memorial Hard Hat Trophy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We weren't sure if you were going to go to the game or be alive, really, so we memorialized it for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hearts.
It was just
Heartman.
pneumonia.
Yeah, hearts.
I was going to drag myself to that game one way or the other.
Yeah, how about this one? This is the most Louisville thing ever. Louisville beats Notre Dame and they fall to a 1-4 Pitt team. Yeah.
It's about right.
Yeah, and then I love this one. Yeah, absolutely. Ohio State's 3-0 in the state of Indiana. We go to Bloomington, we go to South Bend, we go to West Lafayette, and we beat all three of the big teams, big three power teams in Indiana. First team, I looked this up. There's been 2 other Big Ten teams to do what we accomplished this year. Do you guys want to guess who they were?
Team up north.
That's one. They did it twice, actually.
Wisconsin?
Nope.
Wow.
You'll be shocked.
Michigan State.
Sparty.
Sparty?
Okay. Sparty had a rivalry with Notre Dame that is actually more extensive than the team up north does.
Yeah.
They have played Notre Dame more than Wolverines have. I was shocked to learn that. Yeah.
Sorry.
I take my whole dance on Chris's grave comment. Take back my whole. Love you, Chris. All right, let's dive into some grades. All right, guys. So let's look at some of the numbers here real fast. Offensively, Ohio State had 334 passing yards, 152 rushing yards, for a total of 486 yards, 7.0 yards per play, 24 first downs. They were 8 of 13 on third down, did not attempt a fourth down try. They led the time of possession with 32 minutes and 21 seconds. They did have 2 turnovers, however, which was interesting. Aaron, your letter grade for the offense.
Offense, I'm going to say a B+. Even though they had almost 500 yards, there was the issue with the turnovers. I would expect us to run the ball on a defense that was that poor. So, is the running game really that good? I don't know yet, because we haven't done a good job when it mattered the most against better competition, as somebody pointed out here. But we did execute, and we did perform like we feel like we should. So, we didn't play down to Purdue. We did execute. It's just the 2 turnovers can't happen. I can't use weather as an excuse. When we go to play maybe even Penn State next week, but definitely when we play team up north at the end of November, there's going to be some weather, and they're going to have to learn to hold on to the ball. So, B+.
Chris, your letter grade for the offense.
Yeah, I went with a B+ as well. For me, it was about the turnovers, and also the fact that as poor as Purdue is, we still gave up 3 sacks to Purdue as well, and I think that's an issue. So I went with the B+ as well.
I'm thinking about that comment you just made. It doesn't look good on the stat sheet, but I didn't feel it in the game. Does that make sense? Like, I just didn't feel like they. Like,
yeah,
those
no,
sacks
and
were...
you're not wrong, but it did exist.
I'm with you, Eric. It didn't feel like it was that bad at the game, but on the stat sheet, it looks ugly.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like,
it is.
Yeah, I think this is a good comment. We left some points on the field.
We did.
Yeah. But if we score 41 with this defense, I don't care who we playing. That's a dub.
Absolutely.
I really do. I feel like this defense is so much more better than where we were 2 years ago, even a year ago, that when this offense is scoring 41 points a game, it's going to be an auto W. Um, so I went with an A minus. I think maybe I was a little bit more happier. I also understand it, in my opinion. I didn't play football like Aaron did, or coach football like Aaron has, or Chris. I feel like the weather, it's hard to run your whole offense when you have weather like that. Am I wrong?
No, you're
No,
not
it's
wrong.
difficult, but you, like Aaron said, you can't use it as an excuse.
It just
It is
you
what it is.
you have to you have to make play calls based a little bit on the weather. If it's snowing out and it's like accumulating, or better yet, you know what? We'll back it up. As rainy as it is, typically the old adage is we're going to see a lot more running, and I think we did see that.
I was
But
actually surprised we threw the ball as much as we did
I
despite
was
the
too.
weather,
I was
Yeah,
too.
so was I.
which I was glad to see because I think, hear me out, I think Ryan Day understands that this team has to be their own, they have their own identity. As much as he's been trying to force the run the last few weeks, I think he realized it's not our forte. It's just not who we're going to be. And so we're going to have to learn how to move the ball through the air in bad weather too, because that just opens up the playbook for him. So learning how to throw the football in wet conditions, maybe even future snowy conditions and cold conditions. I mean, that's where the power of this team lies. When you have, I mean, we saw it with the freshmen. We threw our second string freshman out there, wide receiver, and they're balling, dude.
With Devin Brown throwing it.
Well, Devin Brown threw a pretty deep ball. So, I mean,
He did.
let's
He
give him
did.
credit there. All right, let's move it over to the defensive side. And Nick Quint, this is a great question, and we're going to come back to this question. Okay, so bookmark that. We're going to talk about this. It's going to have its own few-minute segment here. Defensively, let's look at those stats real fast. So defensively, we gave up 134 passing yards, 123 rushing yards for 257 total yards. That was 3.7 yards per play. They gave up 15 first downs. They were 3 of 17 on third down. So defense was getting off the field. Purdue ended up being 2 of 3 on fourth down. 27 minutes and 33 seconds total time of possessions. No turnovers created, although it was close. Defensive letter grade, I actually went with an A for the defense. Chris, we'll go with you first. What was your defensive letter grade?
Yeah, I went with an A as well. We I would have liked to have seen a turnover, but like I said, we finally got some pressure from our defensive ends. Got a couple sacks there, and I just thought they played very, very solid. And we had a listener mention it there a little bit ago, Eric, and I agree with them. I think if we didn't give Purdue a short field, this was a shutout.
Yeah, make it 3. I can't really argue any of that. It's because when you give a team, a short field to play on, they're gonna make something happen. Purdue's capable, but so when you give them 20 yards to work with, bad things are gonna happen, and they did score.
They're
Purdue,
still Division One athletes,
they
Correct.
smashed Illinois. Okay, they absolutely destroyed Illinois, who beat Maryland yesterday, by the way, yesterday, by the way,
Yeah.
which was crazy. I mean, they've been in every single game. This was the first time they got their doors blown off. Was
Yeah.
with us. Now we were the best team they've played so far, and I think for the most part they knew that was coming, going to be coming to account here. So yeah, what would you say? What was your letter grade for the defense there, Aaron? I missed it. What was it?
A.
A. So we
Yeah.
all went with A's. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and hand out Buckeye Leafs now because I do want to get to that comment, the question that Nick posted about what Ryan Day was doing with Brown in the red zone. I want to talk about that because I think that has a lot to do as we turn the page from Purdue and look ahead to this week's game with Penn State. Um, so let's go ahead and hand out some Buckeye leaves. Which one do you guys want to start with first, guys? Because this is going to be a lot of fun. So, Chris, I'll let you go ahead and pick which one you want to go with first.
All right, let's go with offense first. And
Okay.
for me, there was a lot of guys I think we could have chosen from, but I went with Cade Stover. I thought Stover was big in the blocking game when it came to the run, but I mean, also 4 catches, 53 yards, 2 big touchdowns. Averaged 13.3 a catch. Solid game.
Beautiful. Aaron, your offensive player of the game.
I said Dallin Hayden. I think he had 11 carries for 76 yards, which is
Yep,
good for, I think, 6.9. I'm no mathematician, but I
that's
think
correct.
6.9 yards per carry and a touchdown. So he almost had two if he had recovered that fumble from Devin Brown, but it just got away from him. That's what happens when the ball's wet, I suppose. But yeah, Dallin Hayden for me.
All right, you guys ready for this?
Let's have it.
Don't say Devin Brown.
No. I'm going to go two. One for Kate Stover and one for Dallin Hayden.
There you go.
I'm going to do my Aaron Brown impersonation there. I'm going to hand out two. Yeah, I thought both of those guys had good games, and based off of my offensive play of the game, I felt like I needed to recognize those two.
Before we
So,
switch over, I just got one question, Eric.
mhm.
Have we become desensitized to the greatness that is Marvin Harrison? Because the guy did go out and have 6 catches for 105, average 17 and a half a catch and a touchdown. I
Yes
kind of
and
feel like we've become a little
yes and
desensitized to
no.
just how good
Yes
he
and
is.
no. I think if he holds on to that second touchdown catch, it's different.
Yeah, I agree.
And he did have two drops other than that one
Yeah,
that would have given him probably about 140 yards.
hmm
yeah.
So, and then when you have the two touchdown performance from Stover, and that first one was behind his body,
Oh,
he had to adjust for,
Yeah.
and then and then he has
the
the
catch that
second
made us all
one.
famous.
There, yeah, the catch
Was
that
that
put
the
our
play?
mugs on TV
That was the
on the
play.
Peacock.
You
And
know,
then, yeah, go ahead,
it
Aaron.
it was really unfair that they sat the three best looking men in the stadium together like that in the corner.
Now,
Nobody else had a chance.
why would you say that about yourself and the two people sitting in front of us?
Well, hey, that guy was really nice though.
He was awesome, dude. The
He
guy sitting in
was.
front of me was
Yeah,
hilarious,
he
man. He
was.
was from the state of Illinois, and he had decided that he was gonna uh, get on TV. Is what he decided. Robert says Xavier for his offensive player of the game. Nick Quint says Dallin Hayden as well. And we had Sammy. Oh man, I'm way behind on these. I'm sorry, everybody. Brian Oberst said his offensive player of the game was Harrison. Um, is this pronounced Bilal? Pronounce that
Bilal.
for me.
Bilal.
Bilal? Okay, thank you.
Bilal.
Sorry if I mispronounced that, my friend. They all need to watch Kate Stover's fumble recovery. He was calm and collected. Yes,
Yeah,
that is a good
that was
point.
huge.
That is. Yeah.
He did not panic. That is right. He just kind of slowly came in and fell on it the right way. Like,
Yeah.
I know that they practice this. I know they do this.
But so many people try to pick it up,
They
Yeah.
do.
and he just
They
did the
do.
right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian said Harrison and Stover was his. Yes. Yes, he said correct. Thank you. There we go. Bilal. Bilal. What was it? Bilal?
Bilal.
Bilal. Okay. I'll try to remember that. Yeah, Sammy said that's a leader. Yeah. All right, let's go over to the defensive player of the game. Aaron, I'll let you go first.
Defensive player of the game for me, Jack Sawyer.
What?
I feel like, hey man, first game of the season that he really showed up. He got himself in on a sack. I don't know what his complete stat line was. I haven't seen him yet, but I know
I
he
can
had,
help you out with that, Aaron. It was 3 tackles, 2 solo, tackle and a half for loss, and the other tackle and a half was for sacks.
okay. Does it show how many pressures he got?
Does not show the pressures.
All
ESPN
right.
doesn't do that. You're gonna have to go to PFF to find out.
Okay, I
Right.
don't really count on them too much anyway, but
I don't either.
yeah, they. I just feel like Captain Jack had himself a game. Maybe the stats don't show it, but he was in there. I mean, we watched everything the kid did, and we were talking about it in the stands. How he hasn't played like that all season. So I'm gonna give him a Buckeye leaf.
Now, you remember what I said before the game started? I go, they got Jack on the left side. That right tackle is terrible,
Yeah,
and so
Is bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
he had himself a good game. So, yeah. All right. Let's go with Chris. What do you got for defensive player of the game?
Can I give one to the entire defensive line because they just look that good?
yes, you can. I have done
Yeah.
that before. It is within the rules of the game. Do it.
I mean, honestly, we got. I was gonna go with just JTT and Jack,
Now, dude,
but then
give
I
it to all
thought
four.
I can't do that because Tyleek and Mike Hall Jr. were just so disruptive
Yeah.
up the middle that I've got to do it. I got to give it to the entire defensive front four, Eric. I got to do it.
They deserve it.
You make my job trying to make these graphics so difficult. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. Mine was Cody Simon. How many times have we talked about him this year?
I was about to say none that I can remember.
And he led the team in tackles. He led the team in tackles with Tommy Eichenberg, didn't he?
Yeah,
Chris,
and they both had a tackle for loss. Yeah, they both had 8. In fact, Simon actually had 5 solo, where Eichenberg only had 4 solo. So he is the actual stat line leader for the day.
Okay, well that makes me feel good about it. Even though I didn't look at the stats, I just felt like Cody Simon. I heard his name a lot. I felt like he was playing solid. I mean, what was the longest play for scrimmage that Purdue had? Maybe
Give
like
me 1 second. I'll have that for you.
Maybe like 20 yards. Maybe.
No, it was a pass play, and I think it went for like 30 or 40 something. I can't remember.
No. Longest play from scrimmage was 35 yards.
Yeah.
It was a completed pass to Mershawn Rice.
So we still hold on to our 40 no 40 yards or more play. Which it was us and Rutgers and one other team in college football that had done that defensively.
And outside of that, there was nothing over 15. Outside that one play.
I think Robert means Igbinosun right here. Mm-hmm.
He's one of us, uncultured swine.
But you know,
Thank you, Brian.
Not a great game, but he was the one who got beat on that slant for a touchdown, I believe.
But it wasn't.
That was Igbinosun.
Yeah. It was, yes, but it wasn't like he was burnt, dude.
No, it was tight coverage, but
he was the
one who gave it up.
We jokingly said if his arm was as long as Sonny Styles, he would have knocked that down.
There's some truth to that, though.
There really is. Yeah. He was just a few inches short of getting a fingertip on that ball and knocking it down.
Hey, and I love the guy. He brought a whole new level of physicality to that defensive backfield.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a tough play, dude. A slant at the goal line is so hard to defend. So I'm not even mad. Tyleek's belly rub. Yes, so, it is amazing.
Did he do another belly rub? I must have missed
he did another belly rub.
I didn't see it either.
That's what I do after every meal I eat, right there. Good job, Sarah.
That lady sitting next to Chris probably. Never mind. We'll get to that later.
Yes. Remind me to tell the story about that, okay? You guys are going to want to hang around for the second part of this show just for the kicks and giggles from my trip, man. All right, so let's go over to the offensive play of the game, Chris.
For me, it was Cade Stover making that big touchdown grab. You know, it was a little bit behind him. He had to reach out and really grab it and bring it in. And he did a great job on it.
Aaron?
Yeah, same one. He did exactly what he should do. Had he waited for the ball to get there, that was an interception because there was a defender right there with his hands out. So he played some football.
He took the ball away.
He did. He reached out, snatched out of the air for a touchdown.
All right, so mine is different. And it really wasn't at a significant part of the game. It was basically the nail in the coffin. But Devin Brown's 58-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Ennis. That was Brandon Ennis's first catch and touchdown as a Buckeye. And I did not realize I did not realize how fast he was.
He can run.
He ran away from that defense.
It was a beautiful thing to actually see a receiver hit in stride, though, wasn't it?
It was. We haven't seen that this season.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. Robert says his offensive play of the game was the opening kickoff.
What happened? Purdue received it.
Opening kickoff was us kicking off.
Yeah, I was going to say, we didn't even get the ball.
Was that defensive play of the game, maybe? Oh, he's just saying we owned the game since the opening kickoff. Is what he was.
Since the opening kickoff, yeah.
We sure did.
I got you, Robert. Sammy agrees with me. Devin Brown and NSTD was the offensive play of the game. It was beautiful. It was
a perfectly thrown ball.
It really was. Yeah, in stride, man. I mean, it was gorgeous. All right, let's go over to the defensive player hit of the game. And I struggled with this one, guys.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I? And so here I came up with it. Here's what I came up with. The JT Tuimalua I pronounced it right. I've been practicing.
Debatable.
And Jack
Oh, it's
Sawyer's.
Tuipulotu.
It's Tuimalua.
Tui Maloa.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree.
JTT. We'll just go with that.
And Jack Sawyer's double sack is my defensive play of the game. Whenever those two can meet and have a moment together in the backfield with a quarterback, I think that's a beautiful thing. That's something that really should be celebrated.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Agreed.
Aaron,
I can't go any other way.
I have the same one.
Oh, you guys both agreed with me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey,
I
look
got it
at
written.
this. Even our fan base is telling us we're uncultured swine. Okay, it's time we get a T-shirt made, right?
I've been saying this for at least 3.5 years.
The OHIO podcast. We are uncultured swine.
Let's hashtag it up, guys.
Uncultured
Let's do it.
swine. All right. Be on the lookout for the new
They still do
OHIO
hashtags?
podcast. Yes,
I don't
they
know.
Still hashtag. What are you talking about?
Somebody does.
I don't know.
Gosh, that's funny. Yes, Nick's like, yeah, I'll agree. I'll get one. There you go. That's worth it there. Just saying it. Devin Brown. Sammy Poston said Devin Brown and Ennis TD. He agrees with me. Brian Oberst, Brown to Ennis play of the game. He agrees with me as well. See, I'm a smart guy. I like it when you all agree with me. I like that positive affirmation. I love that.